Welcome to Explosive Mechanics exercise demonstrations. Today we're going to talk about cheating the Tendo unit. In the last video we talked about the squat ratios and how we box squat. If you cheat the Tendo unit and you try to get a better number by not being controlled with it, your ratio will be off. So I got Dorsey here again. We're going to have the Tendo on it. And a lot of people, I want to show you what I mean by cheating the Tendo unit. Dorsey used to cheat it and his back would get inflamed. We'll show that, come up on his heels and things like that. Got it? Yeah. So, all right. So Dorsey first is going to do a nice clean box squat, like we box squat here, like I try to get my athletes to do. You want to let the energy on the way down dissipate, then overcome that load as quickly as possible. And so always move the weight as fast as you can. I'll add load to slow you down. So this is right, narrow stance, sit, drop, boom. Pretty fast, 8, 8, 2, sit, right, boom, back. Those are nice, clean, stop, accelerate, static, overcome, dynamic, okay? And he was moving, what was that second one? 8, 7, 7. So you want to sit, boom, explode, accelerate. Our box is here at Explosive Mechanics. This is a 12-inch mark with the here where I put the tape at. So you can see this box is 12 inches high with a blue foam pad on top. That foam pad squishes down. We want a squishy pad because it helps create more leg drive versus a hard pad or hard box or even a bench. So if he were just to we use the box as a tool, not a guide. We're not using it to see how low we squat to. We're using it at that low because it directly correlates to our 40-yard dash for the faster 40s. If you listen to the last video, I went over in detail about the squat ratios. If someone squats at 1.65 times their body weight, they're going to run in a 4.8 40-yard range. If they're squatting a 1.7 times their body weight at 6 meters per second, now this body weight has to be at 0.6 meters. That relative strength, that ratio, that 1.7 has to be 1.7 times his body weight at 6 meters per second will yield a specific 40-yard dash. So if you squat 1.45 times your body weight at 6 something meters per second, you're gonna run a 5 flat 40. So again, it's at 6 meters per second. Not, hey, Jared, I squat 1.7 times my body weight and I don't run anywhere. And also, if you rewatch that last video, if we change the box height, you're changing your numbers. And so developing explosive strength is, you can substitute strength for time in the power equation. So if the distance is constant, you can substitute strength over time, which is equal to explosive strength because it's done in a rapid rate of force. In a short period of time, he only has from that height to that height to generate that speed. And so the better he is at generating that speed at a certain load relative to his body weight, the more explosive he will be. So Dorsey, let's show him again what a nice clean looking box squat is. Feet close, hold your breath, sit, stop, accelerate. Ah, control it. All right, now let's show a cheated one where you flip it like the kids do. Sit, get up. You see that? Rack it. If you're squatting with a safety squat bar and you take it and you push it up like that, this tether is taped down on the paper part and it flings up quicker, giving you a better number, but a better number is not transferring to our 40-yard dash times. So also, sometimes kids will squat on the box squat, sit, accelerate, they'll come up, they'll flip it, and they'll come up on their toes. And so, Dorsey, what happens if you come up and on your toes?
Back gets fucked.
Your back gets messed up big time because he was coming up. You gotta see, we got 315 on it, moving at 8 meters per second. So we're rolling at 315. Dorsey's only 16 years old. So when you come up and you come back down and you land on your heels, then that load is going back down hard ground, going right to the spine. So it inflamed his back several times and he couldn't figure out why. I said, Dorsey, we got to clean that box squat up. So once we clean the box squat up, turn that down a little bit. So once we cleaned his box squat up a little bit, his ratios matched and his back quit hurting. And so you don't want to sit on the box. I'll turn sideways. You don't want to sit on the box. Boom, come up, come down. Come up, come down. Because then you're getting better Tendo numbers. But just because you get that Tendo unit to read at that 0.6 meters per second, and the wrong way, don't mean, hey Jared, I got it 6 meters. Yeah, but you were cheating the Tendo. What do you mean in cheating the Tendo? You're doing this. So sometimes I'll let kids get away cheating the Tendo, so when they go test a 40, they got 6 and it's not matching up. That way they'll always want to squat consistently clean instead of trying to cheat the Tendo unit. So by punching up like that, or if you have a regular bar on your back and you sit, if this is in the video, you sit here, boom, and that bar, you throw that bar up off your back, you're gonna get a better Tendo number, but you're not gonna get the right Tendo number to match your 40-yard dash time. So I told everybody I'd do a demonstration of the video on cheating the Tendo and what cheating the Tendo looks like. That's something you don't want to do. It will inflame your back. If the bar comes up off, if you got a straight bar, you squat with the bar comes up off your back, it can land on your vertebrae and crack a bone in your neck. And so I had a kid do that one time last year. He threw it up, landed on his neck. And I said, where'd he go? Jared, he hurt his back. I said, yeah, how did he hurt his back? Because he only had 225 on the bar and the kid was moving 370 at 6 meters per second. So just off of a warm up, some type of freak thing, bar comes up, lands on his neck run, couldn't lift his arm above his head for 3 weeks. But eventually got over there, got back, and went from a 5 flat 40 to a 4.8 40 at 235 pounds. So, and stayed with the straight bar. But the thing is, you don't want to pick the bar up, you can get hurt. You're gonna get false numbers. There's no point in getting hurt for false numbers that don't transfer to over there. So again, in sports, when we're getting these numbers, we're getting these numbers, these 40-yard dash numbers, just off of pure force production. No running mechanics. You got people that look like the worst ever runner in the world. Don't look, he arms this way, whatever, 4.9 40-yard dash. It's kind of crazy just and I have people come from all over to visit the gym and show, hey, we don't do anything. They walk in, they see everybody squatting and no one running. But I'm getting a 10th of a second off these athletes per month off a 40-yard dash. If they're consistent, if they're consistently squatting, off the Tendo, let me manipulate the numbers. And we'll go from there to there, test. So if you got someone that's improving the 10th of a second per month, or some kids maybe improving 0.08, which is almost a 10th of a second, they'll continue to keep squatting. If I ran them, they'd want to quit squatting and run because they think the running made them faster. Well, what happens is if you can just let kids do that, I've got kids that I'll just, okay, we won't even squat this month, see what happens. They didn't get any faster and their friends got faster, so they think that's what they want to do. They want to start squatting. That's how I get people to squat all the time. So hopefully you understand what cheating Tendo is. You don't want to cheat the Tendo. It's going to mess with your ratios. You know, it's about how much weight you squat at 0.6 meters per second relative to how much you weigh. So if you want to calculate that, for people that need to understand how to calculate that, you take your body weight. So this kid weighed 240 and he ran a 4.9 340. So a 4.9 40 is going to be roughly a 1.5 ratio like yours last time. He weighed 240, he moved 380 at a 6.2. This kid, this is pretty cool. So that kid ran, he moved 380 at a 6.2 and ran a 4.9 340-yard dash. Well, this other kid moved 385 at a 6.0. So only 5 pounds more at a 0.6, but he weighed 6 pounds less. So 6 pounds less, 5 pounds more in the squat. So 6 pounds less body weight, 5 pounds more in the squat yielded that other kid a 4.81 and a 4.82. So 230, so you take 385, divide 234, gives you 0.60. You take 380, divide 240, gives you 1.58. So that 1.58 to 1.64, significant difference in the 40-yard dash time. Even this kid at 220, he squatted 375 at a 6, which is 1.7 times his body weight, ran a 4.77. 390 at 220, 177, 473. So if you look at all these numbers, let's see if I've got, so they range from 157 pound body weight to 240 pound body weight. Jared, how much that kid weighs? It don't matter how much that kid weighs. It matters about this ratio, 1.43, 1.70, 1.29, 1.29 yielded a 5.1, 5 and a 5.17, 1.12 yielded a 5.2. So that 10th here better, this 10th here worse, is a 10th better, 10th worse. So these ratios are all over the place and numbers don't lie. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You can email me at info@Explosive Mechanics. Follow me on Instagram @Explosive Mechanics, Twitter @ExplosiveMEC. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.